A White Man's Burden, a famous poem written by Rudyard Kipling. If you haven't heard about it, it justified European imperialism in Africa. It made it seem as if Europeans were obligated to help the uncultured, uncivilized, and ignorant nation of Africa. Not once were the Africans taken into consideration. Not once were they asked if they wanted the help of the Europeans. Not once did their opinions matter. You don't just go into someone's house and tell them how to live their lives. You don't just take away their children and impose your beliefs on them. No matter how bad the condition of a home are, whether it's your country, your town, your house, even your natural habitat, home is home, and that is where the heart is. Now, holding this thought applied to the orcas. They're taken out of their natural habitat and forced into the life of being circus animals, into a tank that is so small that even the smallest natural habitat of orcas is 10,000 times bigger than that. Men, just like the Europeans, justify these actions of theirs by claiming that they're helping these whales by saving them from the predators, pollution, and the probability of danger in the wild. They're not helping them. What they're doing, however, is robbing them of their natural habitat, forcing them to become stressed in such an alien environment that they develop physical and mental health problems. If looked into their tanks, they're so small that one can even regard them as swimming pools. There are no moving water currents, not many fish for them to interact with, and lack of texture. Whales are highly social mammals with their distinct social groups. However, as seen in the documentary Blackfish, whales from different places are taken and put together as if they're from the same group. It's similar to taking one man from each continent and putting the 7 of them together in the same jail cell, hoping they'd get along in such a confined space. Most likely, they don't speak the same language, share the same beliefs, or even understand the other. So how do you expect an animal, who presumably values its social interaction highly than humans do, to interact with whales who possibly speak a different language? They simply don't interact. So then these incompatible social groups and the confined environment put stress on the orcas. Along with this, their training techniques are based on reinforcements. They're forced to swim in circles to compensate for the more than 100-mile swim in the wild. Comparing captive orcas to the wild ones, Dr. Rose's work, an advocate of the Humane Society of the U.S., shows that in captivity, orcas become susceptible to infection that they normally fight off in the wild. This then leads to their death. The mortality rate in captivity is 3 times as high as it is in the wild. Think of it as 3 whales dying in the wild every year, for every 9 that die in captivity. That's a lot of deaths. But it's not just the whales who are affected, it's the humans too. Tilikum, a very high-regarded whale among marine theme parks in the U.S., is portrayed as a friendly fish in the beginning of Blackfish, who due to captivity turned into a killer. So much stress was put on him due to the confined environment and the fact that he was with fish who he barely even knew, that he began attacking his own trainers. It's our fault for letting this happen. It's the man's fault for even starting this business. It's the man's fault that these orcas are regarded not as whales but as tools of entertainment. It's his fault that such majestic creatures are reduced to the pathetic life of relying on humans. But no matter how bad of a problem this is, it is still fixable. Much like Dr. Rose, I believe that coastal sanctuaries should be created, much more like a retirement home for the whales. They'd be providing veterinary care and occasional public visits would be allowed. However, there'd be no more breeding, eventually resulting in no more orcas in the years to come. We have to draw a line somewhere, and this is the time to do so. No more of this fishy business. Enough is enough. Although these creatures are living miserable lives, many people still argue that SeaWorld is beneficial to both humans and the whales, as it provides veterinary care to the mammals and fosters San Diego's economy. As being the members of San Diego City Council, it is understandable why SeaWorld means a lot to you. But SeaWorld is not the only place, and whales are not the only mammals to fuel San Diego's economy. The main attraction of places like Disneyland, Six Flags, and Great America are not whales, yet they're successful in getting people to come, in making money off of rides and not animals. As for the money the SeaWorld provides to veterinary care, it is absolutely true that they do provide money. But comparing their revenue to their donations, their revenue is up here, while their donations are down here. What does that say? They're after the money, not the lives of these animals. Actions speak louder than words, and their actions clearly state that they want money. Captivity isn't a positive thing, whether it's for humans or animals. It takes away their sense of freedom. And isn't that what we've been after our whole lives? Freedom? So taking it away from these whales is not the right thing. If we fought for freedom against the British, if Native Americans fought for their freedom, if African Americans demanded theirs, then who are we to take away the freedom of these whales? It's time for us to stand up for these creatures who can't talk for themselves. It is time we learn that their rights are just as valuable as our own. It is time we take action. In order for you to help the whales, you can donate today to the Coastal Sanctuaries Program at fuorcas.com. Even if you can't donate, you can still contribute by spreading the message that captivity kills orcas, by writing a letter to SeaWorld officials to persuade them to stop capturing whales, or simply by not going to SeaWorld. Every little contribution helps. Take action fast. Remember, just as you value your home, these orcas value their natural habitat. After all, home, or in this case, natural habitat, is where the heart is.